the relationship between China and the United States.
Sure.
And, you have Sequoia's in China, they're investing. Then you had Trump for 4 years, seeming to be at odds with China and constantly deriding them and the Wuhan virus, and things got really weird. And we've spent all this time kind of integrating our two economies. And obviously you're kind of like the perfect example of this. You have Sequoia, China investing in a company based in California. The product is made in China. It's sold in America. You are somebody who grew up in China, who now lives in America. Tell me what's your take on the relationship between these two great nations?
Yeah, it's actually a passionate subject of mine. And it could be touchy, because of politics and the environment that we live in today, unfortunately. But one of the things, I don't know if you've heard about it, Jason, is this theory called the Golden Arches theory. Have you heard of the
okay. I mean, I know McDonald's Golden Arches. But
that's right.
Give me the Golden Arches in this regard. Yeah.
So it's basically the concept, the law that no two countries that have McDonald's have ever gone to war with each other. So another word to say is a capitalistic truce, right? So it's like two capitalist nations are less likely to go into war with each other.
I like
and this
that.
is a concept that I think was inspired by the book Homo Sapiens.
Thomas Friedman came up with it. I think I remember this, yeah. The Golden Arches theory of conflict prevention. Once the economies become sufficiently integrated, both costs of going to war and the amount of contact between the two countries will increase. Yeah. That makes complete sense, yeah.
Yeah, so in short, war used to be the number one way of getting resources, and that's why countries go to war. But if there's really healthy commerce relationship, then there's no reason to have bloodshed because you can get what you want by just trading, right? And so I am a firm believer in globalization. I do think that's the story of human civilization. It's just a story of globalization as we go from our tribes to villages to cities to countries to then Earth, right? And so having been someone who grew up born in China and deeply ingrained in that society, my wife is from China as well, and really received education and had my career here in the US. I feel like I owe both countries and both societies a lot. And I feel, but if you ask me, are you a Chinese person or American citizen? First of all, I'm an American citizen by the passport, but I think of myself more of like a global citizen. As in, I travel between the two countries a lot. I feel like two countries have things right and wrong. They have strong strengths and weaknesses. And so I do think it's all about how do you have the two of the most powerful nation, the biggest economies kind of exist in harmony, because there's no other way, right? Because whether you like it or not, it's the two most impactful economies in the world. And so all of that is to say, I really want to, one of the things that drive me at Outer is how do you bridge the gap of understanding, between the two peoples about each other? The concept of made in China used to be derogative because it implies cheaply made goods.
Yeah, it used to be Japan was like high quality, China was bad quality. Now China is, transcendent quality, right? Like unbelievable.
That's right.
I mean, our iPhones are made there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the
Tesla Gigafactory in like 6 months. It's incredible the speed at which they can go. Why is SOC 2 compliance critically important? You hear it all the time. SOC 2, SOC 2. Well, if you don't have your SOC 2 buttoned up, you can't close major companies as partners and as customers. It's that simple. And guess what? Vanta is going to give you $1,000 off your Vanta compliance process. And this is something that's very important. What they're going to do when you get your SOC 2 with Vanta is they're going to continually test against technical and non-technical SOC 2 requirements. And they also have partnered with over 24 audit firms who have been trained to file SOC 2 reports directly in Vanta. On average, the Vanta customers get their SOC 2 compliance in just 2, 3, 4 weeks. Compare that with 3, 4, or 5 months without Vanta, and you understand why everybody's going crazy about it. I just had a Twist listener, John, email me. He's got the drone startup, Kitty Hawk. You may have heard of them. They're very famous. And he says Vanta was essential in helping them get SOC 2 compliance up and running. And he loves their tie-ins to Google, Slack, GitHub, and AWS, which are all essential apps that run Kitty Hawk's awesome business. Vanta, again, is giving Twist listeners $1,000 discount on their subscription right now. And I know many of you are taking advantage of it. VANTA.com/twist, Vanta.com/twist for $1,000 off. Okay, let's get back to this amazing episode.